Last time on the Just Create SMP, Stan took me to court over the IOUs, and I lost!
Mr. NoTail, you have clearly deceived the good fine people of this server.
As a result, I now have to build a fast travel train network to connect everybody's bases in the Nether. But because that's a huge project, and I already have several huge unfinished projects over here at spawn, it's unlikely I'll be getting to that today. And that's because my plan today is to leave my starter base and start getting set up over at my main base area. So let's head down into my workshop and think about what I might need. And I'm basically standing in it. Yes, that's right. I want to take this entire workshop with me, particularly my storage, which is getting quite full of all of the many things I'm going to need. The other thing I'm going to want to take with me, of course, is my horse, who is nice and safely back in my starter house on top of my floating island. So I've got to get him somehow down to my new base area, which is roughly in that direction. And yes, I do have a boat that I can transport all of these things on. However, I just have to quickly fly over to my new base area without taking my boat. My boat, should it ever decide to render in, there it is incredibly laggy. And that's because it's just so big. It's also because it has 4 billion drills attached to it, which it no longer needs. And there is another reason, which we'll get to in a minute. And in order to get to that, I actually need to raise the entire thing out of the water so that I can make a few adjustments to it. Oh geez, I'm gonna need some track. I'm gonna need blocks and oh geez, right, I'll go home again and get all of those things. So, of course, in order to fix my laggy boat, the first thing I needed to do was to move it so that I could fix it. So why is my boat so laggy? Well, as I've mentioned, it's huge, which doesn't help. But the main reason are all of the drills and something else. And that something else is glue. The reason the glue is a problem, if we look at it, is there's a whole bunch of it. Can you see? There's just all sorts of interconnecting sections full of glue. And the reason it's like that is because of the way I glue things together. You see, I always thought the best way to glue things, for instance this tree, would be to glue the bits individually to try and minimize any air gaps. You see, if we've got glue here, and if I was to turn this tree into a contraption, that would be blank. But then if I ever disassembled it again, and then there was something in that air gap, and I reassembled it, all of a sudden this would become part of the structure, which obviously I don't want. The problem is, however, each one of these glue things is an entity, and entities are laggy. The more efficient way to glue things, however, is to glue the entire thing in one go. So, for instance, if I grab that block there and then glue down to the floor here, I then get the entire tree within the structure and all of the air, which does mean I need to be careful if I ever assemble it and disassemble it in different areas, but this means I've only got one piece of glue as opposed to a whole bunch of glue. The problem is I'm going to need to join everything together because these blocks here have to be connected to the structure or it doesn't work. However, I can then remove those and it should still maintain everything inside it that's connected. That's my theory. That's how it should work. So I've got to get rid of all of the glue on my boat, re-glue it all, and hope for the best. But before I do that, I'm going to get rid of all of these drills. And there we go, all of the drills are now gone, and because they're all gone, I no longer need the mechanism that was controlling the drills from the bridge. And that's good, because that means I can now get rid of these ladders, and the ladders aren't a problem when the boat is blocked like it is at the moment, but they are a problem once it starts moving, because they're very difficult to get up and down. So because I don't have a pole going all the way up the middle of this little hole here, I can get rid of all of these ladders and make myself some stairs instead, which does mean I'm going to take out another row of these blocks just here, get rid of the rest of the ladders, and then get rid of these just here like this, and get rid of those just there like that. So now we've got a 2 wide gap all the way up to the bridge. I just need some stairs. And thanks to a recent update of the Just Create mod pack, we now have access to Copycats Plus, which means if I grab this zinc, I can make a whole bunch of different copycat types of panels, and the ones I want are going to be stairs, obviously. So let's make a stack of stairs. Grab some blocks that I might want to texture them with. Probably some of those and those. Let's go and add some stairs into this thing. And wait a minute. No. I need a couple of other bits as well. It would be worthwhile grabbing some slabs and also some copycat steps. And with the rest left over, I might just have a couple of these copycat bites. Why not? Now let's go build some stairs. So what we're going to need to do is be able to get up and down to every single level. And that's why we need this to go both ways. Because, of course, we're going to be having the stairs perhaps, well, not there because I can't get on them. So let's put them a block further back and have those coming along here like this, which then just about gives us enough room to get up there. So if we make those into stairs there, we'll just fill the underneath of those to make it all look a little bit nicer. Now we can get upstairs to here. We can put this part of this one in here, and then we can go upstairs on this bit, just like this. And then we can go upstairs across here, and then realize we've got a little bit of a problem because this platform's actually slightly higher, but this is the bridge, so we don't need to go any taller. So what we can now do here is actually add in a little bit there, add in some stairs there, and then we can just create a little bit of a lip just there. No. Now we have a way up to the bridge with stairs. Yeah, that all looks fine to me. We got those stairs there. Those ones look absolutely fine there. Oh, that looks a little bit flat there, so I'm going to put an upside down stair on there. There we go. That looks a bit better for that bit. That looks absolutely fine for that. And yeah, everything looks good apart from this last one here. So let's just pop a stair on there upside down, which means actually if we get rid of that and put a stair there, everything now looks a whole lot better. Good, we have stairs. We'll probably do with a little bit of rail, which I haven't got any of. I do, however, have copycat panels, so we could just do that across there like that. Then we'll have a couple more of those there. Could do with one more just for that bit there, but that's fine. And I don't need any there. And I don't need any there. Oh, good. Lovely. We have perfectly good working stairs. That's loads better than ladders. So with the stairs now done and in place, the next thing I need to do is glue. And I feel like this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. So it could take me quite a long time. Oh, jeez, I don't want to... This was a nightmare doing this in the first place. Maybe it won't be so laggy now I've taken all the drills off. Here we go, I guess. Got to undo it all first. Get rid of all the glue. Why are there vines on my boat? No wonder it was laggy. It's covered in vines, mate. Okay, I believe that is all of the glue gone, except for the bits that are attaching it to the bogies, which we need to keep. And that means it's time to start adding more glue on. But glue has a certain range. I can't do the entire boat in one glue, unfortunately. So we're still going to have to do this in bits, just not quite so many bits. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the extremities of my boat, which means make it a massive big old mess with all of these blocks. But it's going to be worth it, hopefully. So that should be... No, I think I need to go one more block to get those in there. And I need to go one more block to get those in there. So that should be one corner. And flying down towards the front of the boat, we now need to find the bottom corner. So we need to come out to the furthest thing that sticks out, which is this block here. And now we need to go down to the very bottom of the boat. And there we go. We have two corners of our boat. But the problem is now, if I click on this and try and bring this all the way over, first of all, the problem is it's not connected. And the second problem is it's too big. So we're going to have to do this in sections, and we're going to need to make sure it's all joined together. So let's bring some more blocks out from here, and we'll bring that across to there. So how far along here can I go? I can go basically to this point here. So now I need to bring this up to the highest point of this section of the boat, which is, by the looks of things, around about there. So now if I click that one and they go all the way down here to this one, it's too big. Oh my goodness me, this is annoying. Okay, I've got a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically follow the height of the boat along the side like this on this side. Okay, this makes sense in my mind. So after a lot of faffing about, a bit of jiggery-pokery here and there, and an awful lot of trying to glue things, eventually I got the entire boat glued with just 7 pieces of glue. And then with these last few little extra blocks gone, I believe that is all of my little bits done. And I believe that is the entire boat covered in glue. There's only one way to find out. Let's try and assemble it and see what happens. Assemble train. It's no longer a drill boat. It's just Foxy's boat. And if you can think of a better name for this boat, feel free to pop it into the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. And yes, my PC is once again not very happy that this boat exists in the world. So maybe all of that hard work I've just did absolutely nothing. Let's just make sure we actually got everything connected, which I'm hoping we did. Let's go up my new staircase, head over to the controls, and we'll just move forward. And it looks to me like the entire boat is connected. Oh, they're item hatches. Oh, that's the back of the boat. Yes. Oh, yes. The back of the boat didn't quite get in by the looks of things, but that's fine. We can get those on very quickly. One more piece of glue. How did I miss this little back bit here? Oh, we're going to need 8 pieces of glue. Assemble! Yep, nothing is in the floor this time. That's good. So let's see if we can get the boat back on its main track. Can I reach all the way down here? I can, just about. Has anything been left in the sky? Nope. Is there any spare glue? That's the other thing. Always make sure after you've moved your contraption that you haven't just left glue floating in the world, because sometimes when you're re-gluing things or gluing over glue, some of the glue becomes unnecessary. And it looks like there's absolutely none in the sky, which is great. And that means my boat is back as a boat, and that makes me very happy. And now that my boat's a boat, that means I can drive it back to spawn and start collecting my things. So I drove my new, not so laggy boat away from my island, down the river, through my almost finished boat tunnel that I've been working on during live streams, and got it parked into position at the underwater station, ready to start loading on all of the items from my storage system. I then went into an empty flat world to test how laggy the new glue version of my boat was, and well, for some reason, without all of the drills and only 8 bits of glue instead of 8,000, it was somehow even worse for my PC to render than before, which I really don't understand, because it's got a whole lot less drills on it, it's got a whole lot less glue on it. The only thing it's got that the other one didn't have are the copycat stairs and these little handrail things. But surely they can't be that bad that like 20 stairs and 16 bits of this little board stuff is as bad as 351 drills. I just don't believe it. Hello, sir. Something's just not quite right with this boat, and I'm not sure what it is, but hey ho, I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. And on that note, it's time for me to start shifting my workshop over to our new island. If you've been following my journey on this Let's Play, you'll know that a little while ago I moved my entire workshop from further up in the world down to here using the schematic cannon. I basically took a schematic of the entire thing, collected all of the materials I needed to create a new one, and basically just reprinted it down here. And I could definitely do that again over where we're going and have 2 workshops. However, I think I'm going to do something different. And this little minecart contraption here gives me an idea. It's probably not going to be much of a shock to many of you that this server is struggling a little bit over at spawn. When everyone's over at their main bases and spawn isn't loaded, everything runs quite nicely, but as soon as spawn gets loaded, we have all sorts of problems with the server's ticks per second, lag spikes here and there, and obviously frames per second issues as well. And as much as I'd love to blame it all on Mr. Beardstone's power station, realistically the issue isn't that. Well, geez. It's just that there are so many different things going on in this spawn area that it's a lot for the game to load and run. There are iron farms, factories, villages, islands with lots of vines and crops on them, windmills, power stations, water wheels. There's just a whole lot of things for the game to do. And back down in my workshop, I don't actually have any farms that are running, because I haven't been farming anything. I mean, I've got a bit of a tree farm there that is stopped and doesn't really work. I've got a carrot farm there that is stopped and doesn't work. And I've also got this cobblestone generator, which is stopped. That does work, it's just not running at the minute because I refuse to pay for any more of Mr. Beardstone's power tokens in order to actually have power. So one of the reasons I want to take this workshop with me instead of just duplicating it over at my new area is to help the server a little bit. With all of these things gone, particularly all of these chain conveyors and contraptions and things going on, I just hope that that will help just smooth things out a little bit at the spawn area, so when it does get loaded, it's not quite as jarring. And in order to take this entire thing with me, I'm going to turn the entire thing into a contraption and just put it in my pocket. The only downside to that is things like lava and water are not going to get picked up. they're just going to spill on the floor when I remove the contraption. So I'm going to have to go around with a few buckets, collecting a few different things before we can do that, and then just hope that everything inside of this workshop can actually be picked up by a contraption. It isn't just going to fall out onto the floor. So I guess first of all, let's grab all of this lava. Let's grab the water out of these drills. We've also got a whole bunch of water behind these water wheels down here. And I don't need lots of water. In fact, I only need 2 buckets of water. So let's actually pour those ones back in and then just delete the water sources from these. I've obviously got a little bit of lava and water down here, so let's grab those. I've also got water under the floor down here that gets pumped into this thing, so I guess I should probably grab that as well. I don't have any water at my tree farm. However, all of these blocks here are waterlogged for my carrot farm, so we need to sort that out as well. Now, the other thing to consider here is some of these things are contraptions as well, and I don't believe you can have a contraption inside a contraption, so I'm going to pick them up. That's my carrot farm. I should go and name these things. This one over here is my tree farm, so let's pick this one up. And there's obviously my big old tunnel bore outside as well. Carrot farm. Tree farm is already named. And tunnel bore. Good. And I think that's it for things that I need to remove, or at least I hope it is. Now, I'm pretty convinced that all of these are going to break again. All of my chain things and my frogs are going to break again. But that really shouldn't take me all that much time to set up once I get there. So I guess the first thing I should do is glue it all together. Oh, geez, I'm back on the glue again, guys. Back on the glue? Yeah, I'm back. Oh, no, geez, not like that, no. So I spent an absolute age getting everything glued once again in my workshop. Well, I believe everything is now connected to glue. I hope and I think it is. There's only one way to find out, and that is to come along here, find a bit of this I can attach a minecart to, and I might as well do this bit, seeing as though it's within the glue area. Get rid of this slime fella first. That might help a little bit. Go away. Put that there. Stick a minecart in it. Stick on. Lock rotation. And let's see what happens if I do that. Oh, I believe this entire thing is now a contraption. All of this is, you can see, because there's no ambient occlusion around it, which means I believe it is. And yes, my PC is now very unhappy with me. So I didn't bother with Mr. Beardstone's power thing, so I don't think we need that. Let's see what happens when I pick it up. What's going to be left and what is going to be in the contraption? There is only one way to find out. Let's get rid of that. And that. Oh my goodness. My carrots didn't. Oh geez, my carrots didn't make it. Eggs' sign didn't make it. My stairs didn't make it. A honey block apparently didn't make it. And there's also some water over there. And obviously Mr. Beardstone's power system didn't make it. And neither. Oh, and this wall. Yeah, I'm going to put it back and get the rest of those things glued on. And then I spent another small age making sure absolutely everything was glued together. There we go. Apart from one block, I can put up with one block. And there we go. We now have our entire workshop inside the contraption. And then all I need to do is take my lovely boat back to my island and set everything up there. Now, you might be asking, why am I back at spawn? And I can tell you exactly why. It's because the fine folks over at Nodecraft, who host our server, gave us an upgrade, which should hopefully mean we're now running on a much better processor capable of actually dealing with our spawn chunks and not just suffering from many lags. The ticks per second in our spawn area has been pretty woeful of late, but now, if I run the TPS command, you'll see that we are running at a nice smooth 20 ticks per second again. So hopefully that will breathe a little bit more life into this server, which really isn't all that old, and make spawn a little bit more of an enjoyable experience to actually be at, he says, having just left. And now I've got to go back and set up my new workshop over at my new base. And if you are interested in getting a Minecraft server, then you can get 30% off your order using the code XL99. And that actually helps me out as well, because I'll get a little bit of a kickback from that. Shh, don't tell anyone. Thank you very much. Right, workshop time. I put it in this chest over here. All I gotta do figure out where I'm going to put it here. And it is going to be temporary, but I don't want to just splodge it down in the middle of nowhere. So I think before we do anything, we should actually take a look at my new base area, because I haven't shown it to you yet. And basically what we have is an island bigger than my one at spawn, but still an island. We've got this area here, which I want to convert into a dock, which then leads up to this sort of mountainy, peaky bit in the middle. We've got some flat land all the way up the outsides of that, leading round to the river. And if we look at the main map, this is basically what I've got to play with. However, I've also got this island, I believe, unless Legion moves in close, because I think he's going up here. And I think I've got some of this one as well. And this map, which I created at the beginning of the server, shows all of our main base locations. Although pretty much everybody has decided to change their mind since I created that map. But regardless, we can see that my little area here is actually now this little area here, because I believe Legion wants this little area here. Yes, looking at the image Legion shared, he wants the little mountain range there, and my little base is there. So I've actually got quite a bit of room to play with, and that means I can basically take over all of this area here. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, which is why we're starting on this island here, which just happens to be the one I'm stood on. So yeah, we need to think about how we're going to actually deal with all this. I want a dock down here. I think it makes sense to have my workshop around about this point, and then we'll figure out how we actually go on and create a main base out of this place. And of course, in order to be able to do all of that, I'm going to have to do an awful lot of clearing of these trees. So cue that funky music while I go and chop down many trees. And for that, I'm going to also need many food and my saws and my hand cranker. They're in my contraption. I guess I'm doing it old school. Well, that's a whole bunch of trees cleared out, but I don't really have all that much of a flat space. So I think what I'm going to do is just flatten down this area. This can be my temporary workshop, and I'm also going to flatten down this area as well, because my workshop's going to need power. So I'm going to have to build a power station, but we'll do that in a minute. First of all, I think we're going to get rid of this little peaky stuff at the end here. And yeah, and just flatten all that down, I guess. A little bit more time-lapse, maybe. So now we've got a decent sized flat area. I want to see if my workshop fits on it. And the other thing I need to consider is what orientation my workshop needs to be in so it doesn't break everything when I put it down. See, I don't know if putting it down in a different orientation to what it was on before is going to cause a problem. But I suppose we're about to find out. Right, okay, so I need to kind of put it down towards the middle. If I just free cam through this, we can see everything is still in it. Apparently it's even still got packages on the chains. Right, okay. It does take up a little bit more room than I thought it might, but I think we're going to be able to squeeze it on just about. So after placing this down in a whole bunch of different positions, I think I'm actually going to go for it here, because that gives us enough room around the back to be getting through. It also means that I can extend this down with sort of my harbour for my boat further down here, and actually probably link it up with this little island, and then just extend the terrain underneath it to make it fit. And then that gives us a little bit more room here for our power station. I think that's what we're going to do. And in order to do that, what I need to do is pick it up again, put that down there, make sure it's on lock rotation. I'm just going to activate that first before I actually set it in stone. And now I'm just going to flick the lever and it's all going to become a thing. Is everything still in? And does it all still work? I mean, none of the frogs are facing towards... Oh, no, they are. And they're still named. And these things are still totally broken. and all of those. That's fine. But apart from that, I mean, we still got... Yeah, it all looks like it's working okay. Fantastic. Right. Okay, well, I'm just going to take a minute to get my workshop set back up, putting the water and the lava and whatnot sit back in, at least get the storage system working. Then we'll move on to power systems and things like that. Well, it hasn't taken me too long to get everything back together again. Everything's been reconfigured. All of my little factory gauges are sorted out. And believe it or not, every single one of my frogs already knew what it was doing. In fact, the factory gauges retained most of their information. The only thing I needed to change was where the items were coming from and how many they would create. So the only thing I'm missing now is power, which means we're going to need a power station. And fortunately for me, I just happen to have a big old tank of lava left over from when we gathered it from Mr. Beardstone before. And this is exactly what we're going to be using to generate an infinite lava source. But FoxyNoTail, there isn't enough lava in that little lava tank to generate an infinite lava source. There is, because Create is totally broken. However, the downside of that is I do need a rather large hole to put it in. Now, if you don't know how to make an infinite source of lava, you basically need 10,000 lava source blocks. And the best place to put those lava blocks is in a square hole. And the smaller your edges of your hole, the deeper it needs to go. And with mine being 10 by 10, that's 100 blocks in total. So I need to go 100 blocks down and basically fill the entire thing with lava. But I don't just want this 10 by 10 because, of course, I want at least the top section looking rather nice. So we're going to build a system that's not only going to dig me a 10 by 10 hole 100 blocks down, but it's also going to decorate the size of it for me. So I spent a little time creating a contraption that consisted of 100 drills to dig the hole, 40 deployers to decorate the sides of the hole, and a couple of vaults to store all of the decorating blocks, as well as the blocks generated by the drills from actually digging the hole. And now we should be good to go, although I have glued on the rope pulley. Hopefully that'll be okay. Yes, it is going down. And it does appear to be building a wall. It's doing it. I've just got to let it go down 100 blocks. Oh, how could that be? Oh, no, water. And it is slowly getting down through the deep slate. Ah. Ow. For some reason, it's pulling me down with it when it does. This is not ideal. Let me fly back out of the water. Oh, geez, I'm going to drown. It's just sucking me down for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't know what's going on here. Can I get on a block? Nope. I'll just go under it. Oh dear. Oh, I have a problem. Minty Beard down! I'm running out of air. The machine's not gonna... Oh, jeez. Please, just let me go. Why do you keep pulling me back down? Let me fly. Can I pull myself up the rope? I can. We're going to survive. We are going to survive. I am surviving. Okay, right. Well, I think we've gone down far enough. So let's try and get out. Why am I getting sucked down? It's so weird. What is going on? Told you Create was a bit broken. Right, let's pull it back up. Back to the top, please, you crazy, crazy machine. How fast these deploys are going. Go, boys, go! Now I've just got to go and clear all that water out from down there. And there we go. A couple of minutes later, all of the water is gone, and we now have a hole that actually goes all the way down to bedrock, which is a lot further than I needed, but that is absolutely fine. Now we'll just put a bottom layer of this in for no reason at all. I suppose this will help keep out the void ghosts from underneath the bedrock. Void ghosts? Yes, the void ghosts coming in the next update. True story. You heard it here first. Minecraft Leaks Anonymous. There we go. Now we have a giant pit. Let's fill it with lava and get infinite lava sources. And I know what you're thinking, guys. How can I fill that entire thing with lava when I need 10,000 lava blocks? And in this, I only have 1,000. I only need... Well, I did need 100 until this ended up being a 12 by 12 hole. Oh, no, it didn't. It ended up being 10 by 10. It's just I'm stupid. Huh. I still only need 100. Fantastic. Need a bit of pipe, need a hose pulley, and a pump. And the first thing I'm going to do is to place in a whole bunch of dirt on the second layer. Just like that. Now I am going to need access underneath this in order to remove it in a minute. So I'm also going to dig a little hole down here like this. And then I'm just going to put a little dirt platform in down here. Okay, we've got a bit of a platform now, so that will make it easy to get rid of this layer once the lava's on top. So let's just hop back up here and dig that away again so I can get back down. In fact, let's make a staircase so I can make a quick escape. We need our pump, pumping outwards, little bit of pipe coming over to here, and then we'll just stick that there, and our hose pulley right in the corner there. So we're going to wind that down until it's flush with the dirt. We'll get our pump linked up to our power just like that, and that should start pumping the lava into there. That should then fill up the entire thing, and there we go. That is the entire thing filled in. That is 100 blocks of lava. I'm just going to disconnect the power from this so it doesn't pump in anymore. We can then wind our crank back up again just to get that out of the way for a minute. And now I'm going to go in here and very, very carefully just get rid of a row of this dirt at a time, allowing the lava to fall all the way down to the very bottom of our big old chute thing. Chute thing? Yeah, big old chute thing. Just want to be careful not to get any of it on my head. That's the plan. Just get rid of these few bits here and these last few bits just there like that, and then I can just close that back up again. I didn't need my emergency staircase, and there we go. We now have a lava pit with 100 lava source blocks and many, many, many flowing lavas. So now what I can do is come back to my hand crank and just wind that all the way down to the bottom of the lava, which will take a very long time. Probably the rest of my life. I might even get finished before Christmas. Next year. Possibly. Any minute now. Surely it can't take any longer. I can't believe how long this hole is. This is honestly getting ridiculous now. I didn't think I was going to have to come up with this many things to say while I was winding this handle down to fill up the time. Honestly, I'm about done. My finger's falling asleep just holding a button down to spin it round, and I am slowly starving to death. And the night is coming in, and creepers are going to come along, and I can't. Is it really still going? And I am now actually starving to death. But at least I got an achievement for it, and it's still going. And now it's the morning, and it's still going. And if I didn't know better, I'd say it was completely glitched out. Hey, we reached the bottom. At last. But has the lava reached the bottom? There's only one way to find out. A bit of cheesy free cam. We can find out. It is nearly at the very bottom. You can see the hose pulley is actually down there in nothing at all, and all this dirt is about to get eviscerated, annihilated, something erated. And any second now, it is complete. Which should mean if I was to spin this pump round and reattach the power, this should then say bottomless supply. It is! I have created infinite lava without actually creating infinite lava. This is incredible. We now have free power for life from just 100 sources of lava. It's time to build a power station. But before I could build a power station, I was summoned back to spawn for a meeting with Throwlash, my mortal enemy. Because of the court case thing. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it.
Foxy.
Hello?
Hi. So I feel bad about some stuff, and I have this for you. You don't have to read it right now. You can read it on your own time. But yeah, if you want to just get a hold of me, and I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair. You do. It's your book now. You do whatever you want to do with it. Okay.
Traitor.
Okay. All right. That's all right. I'll talk to you later. All right. See ya.
What does he want now? It was bad enough that he completely ruined me at court. Now he's giving me more things to do. Task redeem. What's this nonsense? To Mr. FoxyNoTail, I feel bad that you were doing right by all of us. Yes, I was. By trying to get us out of our IOUs. I'm genuinely sorry it didn't work out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's your fault, Throwlash. And I feel that I threw you under the bus a bit in court. A bit. completely under the bus. Sorry. Please take this book as a token of my apology. This book is a one-time free, non-transferable, redeemable token to have me assist you with a task of your choosing. This is not an IOU. Task needs to be reasonable for a person such as myself to accomplish within a reasonable amount of time. This book cannot be redeemed for freebies or discounts of any kind solely in the assistance of a task. Sorry again for throwing you under the bus, but I look forward to assisting you with stuff in the future. Throw. Now that gives me an idea. Mr. Throwlash! Where'd he go? He's over at the shops. Throwlash! I believe I have the perfect task for you, my friend.
Okay, that was quick.
Yes, it's not quite ready yet, but you will love it. I've got it perfect. So thank you very much for that. I thoroughly appreciate it. And if you could maybe get the other people that threw me under the bus to give me something similar, that would really help me out. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, bud. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Yeah, no promises, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, bye. Right, anyway, before I was rudely called over to assist Throwlash with receiving a book, I was about to be building a power station, which is exactly what I intend to do now. Go on then, I'm about to. I need to have a nap first and think about it, and hey, wait a minute, it was bedtime a minute ago. Someone slept on my behalf. Jeez, I can't even sleep. Right, anyway, yes, power station.
Mr. Fox.
How you doing, buddy? Oh, I say buddy,
Good.
traitor.
Whoa. Is this about the court case?
Yes, of course. You know, that one where you stabbed me in the back. Yeah, that one.
I didn't stab you in the back. I just answered honestly, Foxy. That's all I did.
Which just happened to result in me being stabbed in the back.
Well, I mean, you know, make of it what you will.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah. Well, the people have been a bit worried, Foxy, because in my comments, you've not been interrupting, screaming in panic.
No.
So that's got me a bit worried about your safety, really.
Well, the thing is, Mr. Beardstone, one thing more than anything else was highlighted to me from that court case, and that was apparently how stupid I am.
Oh, you're not stupid, Foxy.
Exactly, and I'm proving that.
Wait a minute. This is a power station.
Yes, many power.
I was hoping to sell you my power.
No,
again.
I don't want your power, Mr. Beardstone. I have my own. And this even has magma wheels.
Magma wheels?
Yes. See, I've used the cheaty method of I'm only using 100 source blocks of lava. The rest of it's flowing. As a result, I can power the power station from the flowing lava.
All right. Is that why I've got no frames? One sec. Let me do a refresh.
Get out of it, no frames. I'm getting...
No, it was just that server thing where the frames randomly tank. It's
right.
fine.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
fine.
getting
it's
no less here now with all of this in place than I was a minute ago before it was in place.
No, it's beautiful. There's like, you know, around 200 frames, Foxy. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Yeah. And so what were you saying about power stations being laggy?
Well, but that's a spawn. This isn't a spawn, Mr. Beardstone.
True. that is true. I have also reduced the number of pumps in the power station. I realized I was pumping in like way too much water.
Right, okay.
So there's actually less pumps now, and there's 3 times the amount of power.
Good. Well, that's good then. Excellent.
Yeah, it is. Question.
Yeah.
Is this what I think in it?
What?
You've moved your workshop again.
Yeah. Well, I don't need it to spawn now.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, can't argue with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Spawn will appreciate it as well. All the extra frames we'll get.
Exactly. I'm doing my bit, you see. The lag police are on duty, and we are sorting things out for everybody. Even though everybody stabbed us in the back, we're still trying to do our best for the server.
I feel like you're taking it a bit personally. I guess I can't sell you power then.
No, absolutely cannot.
That's disappointing because the nearest link up is only about 200 blocks that way.
While you're here, can I interest you in purchasing a boat?
That boat?
Yeah, well, the thing is, Miss Beardstone, you notice how it's got no drills on it now?
I was about to say, it looks less drilly.
Yeah, and before it was held together by about 8,000 pieces of glue. and now it's only held
That's a
together
lot of
by
glue.
8 pieces of glue. But for some reason, that makes it even more laggy, not just for frames per second, but also ticks per second as well. The fact that it's got less drills and less glue, it's worse. So if you would like a boat, and it's free to a good home at the minute, Miss Beard. Oh yes, before we go though, so Throwlash approached me earlier with a very nice thing because he felt guilty about, throwing me under the bus. So he gave me one of these, and I think it would be only fair if all of the server members that threw me under the bus would also give me something similar, Mr. Beardstone. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yeah, that was nice of him, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, Miss Beardstone, I no longer require power at spawn. So feel free to go to where my workshop was at spawn and collect your power system from there because it's no longer required, and all of the other bits of your power system are just here waiting for you. Look, there you go. I put them all in a nice box for you. You can have them. I don't even need your stupid power tokens. Consider that my payment. 45 power tokens. That's about a diamond each. I think it's worth it.
Actually, they're 64 for a diamond.
Yeah, but they've been aged. They're matured. They're matured. Yeah.
No, that just means that they're a bit knackered.
No, very valuable. Very valuable.
Nah, I disagree with all of this.
Yeah.
I also don't want that stuff because I can't be bothered to carry it. My inventory's got some stuff in it already, so you can keep that.
Oh,
it's all yours, and you can have some scaffolding.
Oh, brilliant! Just what I needed. Actually, I could use that on my power station. Thank you very much, Miss Beardstone.
You're welcome. I'm glad we can have this conversation. I mean, you do still owe me for that invoice, though.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Right. As long as we're clear. As we're clear.
Good luck.
Cheers, Foxy. Pleasure as always.
Yeah. See you soon, bud. Bye. Right, anyway, time lapse. Where was I? I just finished building the power station, which is now generating many power. Nearly 600,000 SU. So I need to obviously get this hooked into my base so I could actually produce the materials I need to build the building around it. So we've got 2 outputs here, one for this and one for other things in the future. So let's just, I guess, take it underground so it doesn't look messy and just hook it up to here, and that should basically do everything we need. And we could use chain drives to do this, but to be honest with you, I prefer shafts because I just believe they are a little bit more reliable. A little bit there, one of those there, and then a little bit of shaft across there. Let's just encase all of this shaft so we don't have visual things causing FPS problems. Put a bit of grass back on top, and there we go. We now have power to the workshop, which should mean everything is now able to run. It is. Things are already going. Oh, this is fantastic. It's all going backwards. I do need a speed controller on there. Throw that on there, and now many speed. But is it going in the right direction? That's the question we need to find out. Yes, it is. Excellent. We have power. My base can finally get going again. Look at all of the things going around being delivered and sorted and stuff. Oh, this is wonderful. And now all of that's nicely sorted out. It's time to decorate. Both of them, ideally. we go. Not a bad looking little power station, if I don't say so myself. I quite like the detail we've got on here with all of the shafts and pipes and fans and all of the different materials. I've tried to keep an aesthetic that I've got for my boat with the deep slate and industrial iron with the copper roof and obviously the orange of the pipes. So for this, I added the deep slate for the chimneys and the bottom layer to give it sort of that burnt smoky look, with the copper colors coming out with the bricks and the granite going back into the actual oxidized copper roofs, and I think it looks great. The only problem with it is not the fact that it's hanging over the edge of the cliff there, it's that it's too close to my workshop and the door to go in just happens to be on completely the wrong side, because obviously when I put a building around my workshop, it's going to make it impossible to actually get in. And inside here, there's not a great deal going on. I've not bothered to add in floors or anything like that. I've just kept it around the actual steam engines themselves. I've kept the copper tank in here, and as you can see, we've got the holes up there for the chimneys with the campfires that have hay bales underneath to make the smoke rise higher. And overall, I really like it. The actual power station works incredibly well. Everything is running at maximum power, which means in total we're generating 294,000 SU on each side. That's pretty much 600,000 SU. More than 500,000. But that does leave me with a significant problem of yet again having to move my workshop. But I've come up with a plan for this workshop while I was working on that, and that is to build a completely new, brand new one that's actually good and not just, you know, recycled many times. So yeah, I've got big old plans for workshops, iron farms, and all of the good things coming very soon. And I don't know if we can quite see it from here, but just over in the distance over there, oh, there you go, look, there just happens to be an ocean monument, and I want it. Although it does look like someone's already broken their way in the top of it, so I'm guessing it's probably missing all of the sponges, but that won't stop me turning it into a farm. So all of that's coming up, but for now, that's it. Now,